Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable Town Manager. This is my Town Manager communication from November 20th through December 3rd. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and that you enjoy and remain safe right through the holiday season. We continue with the preparation of our capital and operating budgets for FY26. They're under development right now, and we're following our budget action calendar. And if you want to look at budget-related information, please go to our town website and open budget, and you can look at past and ongoing efforts. Our finance department presented the FY 2025 levy shifting options in a pre-recorded presentation available for viewing on the town's webpage and at the November 7th, 2024 Town Council meeting. The objective of the presentation is to illustrate the impacts on tax bills when deciding on a minimum residential factor, commonly referred to as splitting the tax rate, and the adoption of a residential exemption. Property values have been approved by the Department of Revenue, allowing the Town Council to vote on these two options. And the two votes are scheduled on December 5th, on the Town Council agenda on December 5th. As previously reported, public hearing on changes to various Town of Barnstable permit and program fees for the Community Services Department Golf and Hyannis Youth and Community Center programs, Marine and Environmental Affairs Department's Marine and Sandy Neck Beach and Residential Shellfish programs, and the Planning and Development Department's Parking Management programs, which would all take effect on January 1st, 2025. That hearing was held on November 12th at 11 a.m. And you can go into our website if you haven't had a chance to see it and watch it if you weren't able to attend. Those wishing to provide public comment may do so through December 11th. All comments will be taken under advisement, and the calendar year rates will be approved either as proposed, approved for an amount less than what was proposed, or will not be approved and therefore remain at their current rate. I said this during the summer months, but I think I need to say it again. We encourage our residents and visitors to download the My Barnstable app from Apple or Google Play Store. It doesn't cost anything. You can load it right on your phone. The app provides updates on a wide range of information in the town, including traffic advisory, election information, seasonal information for Sandy Neck, other beach updates, and more. And one of the more category is the ability to report a problem, such as enforcement issues or a complaint of any type that you may have. Now, the exception to this is if it's an emergency. And if it's an emergency, we strongly recommend you dial 911. But in general, you can use that app to report a problem. In addition to that, there are numerous ways that residents can file complaints, including the town's main mailbox, which is email at town.barnstable.ma.us. You can call our Citizens Resource Line at 508-862-4925. If it's a rental related complaint, you can call the rental complaint hotline at 508-504-9779. And it should be noted that it's best for the residents to file the complaint directly rather than having others file the complaint on their behalf to ensure prompt and efficient response. So please feel comfortable to communicate with us on this. Um, and we're going to be providing further communications on the advancements we've made to better to perform better enforcement of our rules, our regulations, our ordinances. We've done quite a bit of work over the last 10 years. We also have plans as we move forward. We report this out to certainly the leadership of our town council. And I'm going to be sharing more with our public because it's been the subject of recent discussion at some of our committees. I think it's important that the public feel comfortable to communicate directly with the town of Barnstable. You can certainly communicate with the town manager's office at 508-862-4610. You can email and let us know. We can forward it, but the best way to do this is report it directly in through the various options that I've already described to you so that we can log them in, we can investigate, and we can take appropriate action. But we'll be providing further communications on all of this in the coming months, and we look forward to working with our community to maintain our exceptional quality of life here in Barnstable. Finally, I attended a Cape and Islands Bridges Coalition meeting today. Now, the meeting opened with the co-chairs giving a summary of how work on the Sagamore and Bourne bridges are progressing. We had an update from the Cape Cod Commission relevant to regional transportation planning. And then we had a panel from our federal delegation, staff from our delegation, meaning Senator Markey and Warren's office and Congressman Keating's office. And a big focus from that was the talk and the discussion that surrounded the funding. It's being described that we have funding for the Sagamore Bridge and the Bourne Bridge is still an effort in the works. It was pretty clear at that meeting that we still need to see those funds for Sagamore contracted. That has not occurred. And though our governor and this current administration in Massachusetts has dedicated significant funds towards this effort, we do still need to keep a close eye on this effort so that the funds that'll be necessary to proceed with both projects can be secured. I think a lot of people are a little bit confused on whether we've received these funds or not. We have not received them yet. They've been identified, and the next step is you enter into a contract for them. They're obligated. That hasn't happened yet. The other thing of significance that came out of this meeting was that right now, before the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is a combination of federal, state, and local, and Cape Cod Commission. These meetings are held at the Cape Cod Commission. There is funding available right now, and a notice has gone out to the public for a comment period on the Transportation Improvement Program. That went out on November 18th. And within that comment is that the Cape Cod Bridges Program, Phase 1, part of what you're supposed to be commenting on is the $365,420,000 that's to be programmed specifically for the Cape Cod Bridges Program. This was identified to us today. There's a virtual meeting scheduled for December 16th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Where public comment can be made. And then written comments are due by December 9th. So I'm going to be preparing written comments on this, public comments on this, and discuss with town council leadership whether I or a member of our Barnstable staff should present oral presentation on the 16th. But I just wanted to make sure that I just actually came out of that meeting before recording this message. So I wanted to make sure, given that the 9th and the 16th are, a very short time frame away, I wanted to make sure I certainly shared the 9th because I won't have another opportunity through my town manager communication, to do that. So that concludes my town manager comment. And we'll close with Jim Cupford, our Director of Planning and Development, providing a housing report. Thank you.
All right. Hello and welcome. My name is Jim Kupfer. I'm the Director of Planning and Development for the Town of Barnstable, and I'm here today to discuss the Town of Barnstable's multifamily housing development report. It's a snapshot in time. Today is December 3rd, 2024. Today we will go over all the multifamily housing development that has occurred between 2017 to today, December 3rd, 2024. When I refer to a snapshot in time, I mean just that the multifamily housing development, as it evolves over time, you'll see sections that are in permitting, sections that are permitted, sections that are under construction, and sections that are constructed. That report will continually change over time. Those constructed will remain the same, though those that are under construction may come back for alterations and changes to the approved permit. Those in permitting or have been permitted may again make adjustments to the permit that has been already issued. And then those in permitting are just that. They're in permitting and conceptual in nature. An applicant or a developer is currently going through the process, meeting with departments, meeting with appropriate boards, committees, and commissions, and will ultimately determine whether or not it proceeds. So December 3, 2024 will be likely different than December 12th, 2024. So today I would like to go over project by project each of our multifamily housing and where to find the report that we continually update each month. So that report looks a lot like this. That's a very busy report. You're not intended to be able to read it right here, but I will direct you to exactly where we will find this report so you can dive into each of the details. What it will show you is 3 different columns. We organize this into our growth incentive zones, so downtown Hyannis and those outside of downtown Hyannis. Our planning strategies over the last 20 years has been to incentivize growth right here in downtown Hyannis to better utilize our abandoned and underutilized properties and to preserve through our resource protection overlay district a large extent of the balance of our community. So that is why we divide this into downtown Hyannis and outside of downtown Hyannis. Why we have this divided into 3 columns, as you'll see, we have downtown Hyannis prior to the updated downtown Hyannis zoning, which took place in February of 2023, and downtown Hyannis developments after the new zoning. And then lastly, the full extent, 2017 to 2024, outside of our downtown Hyannis. So where to get this report? This report is updated monthly by the Planning and Development Office, and you can find it, the big button that on the left-hand side of our town website under Housing. So the big blue button that says Housing, you click on that, and on the right-hand side of our housing page, we actually have the multifamily residential development report. And again, updated monthly to take in any new projects that have been submitted, any new projects that have been moved from just submitted to permitted, and any new projects that have then received building permits, so they're under construction. And lastly, if they receive that certificate of occupancy, we move them to complete. So where do these projects live? So as I mentioned, much of our development is incentivized to take place in downtown Hyannis. You'll see a few dots outside of downtown Hyannis. If you look to the north of the site, the dots to the north, that is Independence Park. You'll see just a few dots as you leave to the west of downtown Hyannis, looking at 850 Falmouth Road, looking at Bell Tower Mall, looking at Old Stage Road. So those are a few smaller projects that have taken place outside of downtown Hyannis that we identified there. However, much of the growth and development that we will discuss today is for downtown Hyannis. So you zoom in there, and we have a number of projects that we'll review project by project today to go over units, elevations, site plans, et cetera. So as I mentioned, we have a demarcation of before and after February 2023. February 2023, again, is when the downtown Hyannis zoning was updated to reflect what the zoning is today. Prior to that, we have a summary of housing production within downtown Hyannis that took place prior to the 2023 update. You'll see here 216 units were created, 13 of those were affordable, and much of the development was done through 8 regulatory agreements. I should note why 2017, that is when production began. The town of Barnstable has been really a leader since that time in our region in production of housing. You'll see the total numbers down in a few slides here. But by far and away the town of Barnstable has really been a leader in trying to meet the demand for housing. And you'll see here, 2017 to 2023, 216 units, 13 units affordable, and through 8 regulatory agreements, and some other special permits or by right as well mixed in. And I will say, before I go to the next slide, again, each one of these is listed line by line as to which projects that this takes into account in our monthly update report. After the new zoning took place, so this past year, essentially, a year plus, in downtown Hyannis, approximately 637 units have been permitted. Total affordable units are 118 units, and no regulatory agreements have been issued during that time. So, developers, property owners, applicants have each looked at the updated zoning and sought to meet the requirements that are laid out in that ordinance. So again, 637 within over a year and a half to the past 6 years before, about 216 units being created. And again, these 637 are being done per the zoning ordinance. And again, this other aspect, so we talked about before and after in downtown Hyannis, but we also have, what's happening outside of our growth incentive zone, and that tells a story as well. And so 673 units have been created. 82 units are affordable through 0 regulatory agreements. But if you go to the report itself, you'll see that many of those are that obviously predate the new zoning. And again, much of those are where you find Independence Park and the larger developments, one of them being just finally constructed behind Home Depot, the Hanover or Wilkins project. Between that and the Everly, that's predominantly all the units that you'll see there, minus a few. So town-wide, 2017 to now, again, a snapshot in time. This continually evolves, but as of December 3rd, total units created or permitted / constructed is 1,526 units. So within approximately 7 years, 1,526 units here in the town of Barnstable, adding 213 affordable units. And again, those 8 regulatory agreements predate the updated zoning, but is a tool that did help provide additional units to be created. So the rest of this presentation, I would like to walk through each of the projects that have been in permitting, permitted, under construction, or unfortunately, we don't have anything completed just yet, but through the new zoning, so from February 2023 to today, each of the projects that are before the town, the various boards, committees, commissions, site plan review, discussing with DPW about stormwater and sewer. These are all the projects that have gone through that process and are either currently in that process, permitted, or under construction. On the left and the right, those columns there, again, predate the new zoning, so many of them are already complete. And to the right, that are outside of the downtown Hyannis, you'll see very few units being created to date, much as final construction, again, the Hanovers, the Everlys, et cetera. So going through project by project, we'll start with in permitting. So existing projects that are before the town for permitting as of right now, as of December 3rd, 2024. You'll see there, we have 6 projects that are currently in the permitting process and deciding whether or not to move forward. So none of these are complete at this time and have a number of items that they need to either modify or adhere to before they can move forward into being permitted. So we'll start with 2430 Crocker Street. 34 and 30 Crocker Street is 15 units, though I believe 5 of those units are pre-existing. So we only have, I believe 6. So we only have 10 new units, that's right, 10 new units being created. So unfortunately for this one, 15 units, 0 are affordable units. This is the existing conditions on Crocker Street in the east end of Hyannis. Those structures, those multifamily structures that you see there today will remain. And this is an infill project. So this is the site plan that was presented. You'll see up front or on the bottom of the screen are the 2 multifamily structures that are there. And then the applicant is pursuing those 4 duplexes. So 8 total new units being created. That's right. So those 8 duplexes to the rear of the site are being added there. This is what each of the duplexes would create. It looks similar to if you've walked through the Pleasant Street site that was done a few years ago. Moving on, the next permittable or in permitting project is 23 Washington Street. So 23 Washington Street is proposing 32 new units and would have 3 affordable units. Those affordable units would be 65% AMI. 65% AMI is the requirement under the town's inclusionary general ordinance. And 10% is, again, the requirement, so that's why you see 3, and those 3 are at 65% area median income. So 23 Washington Street, again, 32 units, 3 affordable. This is existing conditions, though I believe demolition may have occurred of this structure already. And what is proposed here on the screen is 1 single structure apartment complex. This one is 4 stories, holding the 32 units and 1 parking space per unit, right in downtown, just north of North Street, just at the corner of Washington and North Street. So moving along to 79 Center Street. Right around the corner from where we just were on Washington Street. This is a vacant lot of land 79 Center Street is proposing 9 total units, again, under the requirement. If you do 10 or more, this is 9 units, so no affordable units are proposed here. 9 units, 0 affordable. This is the existing conditions, a vacant lot of land on Center Street, I believe at the corner of Center and Dynaflow, and 1 structure is proposed there. Again, 9 units, meeting the requirements of the zoning ordinance, 9 units with 9 parking spaces, and this is the elevations proposed at this time. 473 Main Street, Phase 2, and we'll get to Phase 1 down the line, but Phase 2, this is a great example of how projects evolve when coming to the permit, or when accessing the permitting process, and how things may change over time, and why I keep reiterating that this is a snapshot in time. 473 Main Street is technically within our permitting portal, although they've had several iterations. Right now, as proposed, is 35 total units, 4 of those being affordable, 4 of those being at 65% area median income, again, meeting the inclusionary that it is today. Those 35 units would be cited in this general area. This is the existing conditions, the existing motel that is there today. What was proposed is to remove the 2 small brick structures that line Main Street or on Main Street, and then the center structure that was the pool, and put 1 structure along Main Street to kind of make a courtyard in the middle there for all the parking. Though that has since gone through some of the permitting and the applicant has pulled back at this time. So this likely is not moving forward as presented here, but is in the process, is in the permitting portal at this time. This is the elevations that were proposed and presented to the Hyannis Historic, and was suggested to be altered. So the applicant has stated they are doing such at this time. This was, 3 stories, and again, for 35 units along Main Street with commercial on the first floor, per the requirements of the zoning. Continuing down the road, going to 407 North Street. This is 9 total units. And again, just shy of the 10 that would trigger inclusionary. So we have 9 total units. And it's actually going within the existing structure. So that is the existing conditions. You'll see in the site plan, they're actually just repurposing the offices that were there to make 9 total units. The proposed condition is going to look very similar to existing because they're not changing the exterior. So repurposing the offices into residential units, 9 units there. Heading back down, or heading back east on 337 Main Street, currently in the permitting process, is 22 units, 2 of which are affordable, 2 of which are at 65% area median income. 22 units, 2 units affordable. This is the existing conditions, a structure that is in very poor condition, at a prominent corner here on Main Street and Ocean or Barnstable Road. And here's the site plan, what they're looking to do. 1 structure, parking underneath on the first floor, so podium parking, but it's garaged parking is what's proposed there. And this is the elevation that was proposed. Again, residential above with commercial on the first floor. So 22 units as proposed here at this time. Now we're moving to permitted. So those are all the ones that are currently in the permitting process, though tomorrow may change and some may add and some may fall off. But these here are the ones that have gone through the process and have been stated as permittable. So we'll go through each one of these. So 268 Stephen Street, currently a vacant lot of land. looking to put 50 total units. 40 of these are to be affordable. Currently, it's proposed as 40 at 100% area median income. And this is the Housing Assistance Corp that's looking to do it. So they have a different type of model that they're looking to pursue here. 50 units, 40 affordable units. Again, existing conditions, vacant lot of land has been in this condition for quite some time. And what they're looking to do is one structure, parking in the rear per the requirements of the zoning. And this is the elevations that they are offering. I will note that they're also working with the town to add a sewer pump station at this corner to improve the conditions of the sewer. Moving on to 40 North Street, so just south of where we were talking a project on Washington Street. 40 North Street is 8 units, so again, just below the 10 that requires affordability. And this is the existing conditions. It's an old office building, currently either underutilized or vacant. And what the applicant is looking to do is repurpose the offices again for residential purposes. So renovating really the interior with some minor improvements to the exterior. Here's the elevations proposed, again, minor alterations to the outside. Moving along to 94 Stevens Street. So 94 Stevens Street is 40 total units, 4 affordable, 4 at 65% area median income. Again, so this is per the requirements of the inclusionary ordinance. So this is existing conditions as you would see today. I will note that front lobby area that you see in the foreground of the structure is being preserved and relocated. That was a structure that was moved from Katuitt to Hyannis many years back and is now finding a new home, potentially on the corner, the church at Lincoln and West Main. That was done through the permitting process and identifying that, as well as Barnstable Historic working with the applicant to find a new home. Site plan here is 4 structures going along the site, again, hiding the parking in the rear, and these are the elevations that are shown. Moving over to 28 Barnstable Road, a great example of repurposing the existing structure. Just adding 4 additional units to the existing conditions. This is the existing conditions that you'll see there. And you'll see on the next slide, just adding a second story to that first level of lashes, essentially, and repurposing that left side for residential. So adding 4 units to an existing site. Continuing on to 307 Main Street. 307 Main Street is proposed as 120 units. Right now, it's 30 are affordable, 12 of those are at 60% area median income, and 18 are at 80% area median income. 307 Main Street, again, 120 units, 30 of those are affordable. This is existing conditions. And this is the site plan, one large structure, kind of wrapping the site again with the parking in the rear from Main Street. This is the elevations proposed, and this is all residential with some community space, but parking behind as podium parking again, much like one of the other projects that we've walked through. 11 Potter Ave, down towards the West End Rotary, is 5 new units. So an existing structure, repurposing an existing structure again. This is the existing conditions. No real major changes to the exterior, but repurposing that into 5 new units. This is somewhat unique in that the foreground, the frontage is higher than the rear, so it's more of a walkout in the rear. Heading east to 53 Camp Street. 53 Camp Street is 5 total units. This is the existing conditions. And what they're doing here is adding another structure while preserving the current structure. So adding another structure to the site. This is the elevation proposed. And adding another 5 units. One of the unique aspects that you may have already picked up on with the new zoning is allowing for multiple principal structures. So allowing for some infill within the existing parcel allows for preservation of the existing structures while adding a few units through another principal structure. That's been helpful for a number of applicants, it appears. 50 Main Street. 50 Main Street is just before you head to the town line. The applicant is proposing 10 new units. So that triggers that minimum threshold for one affordable unit. One at 65% area median income, again, meeting the requirements of the inclusionary. And so this is the existing conditions. This is to come down. This was in disrepair, and adding 5 duplexes, making 10 units with parking to the side and rear. These are the elevations that were proposed. Over to 201 Main Street. 201 Main Street is 95 total units, 10 total affordable units at 65% area median income. This is the existing conditions. Obviously a vacant lot for many years. And this is the site plan. Smaller in length structure along Main Street. Since this is kind of a deeper lot, they took advantage of that. This is again podium parking, so the parking would be on essentially ground level with the structure above. We've seen that with a few of the applications here. And this is what the elevations look like. So now under construction. So this is within downtown Hyannis after the new zoning. So we're still in that center section of the chart of the report, and this is under construction. So since the permitting has gone through, we've now seen a number of projects move forward to under construction, and so we'll go through each of those. So 473 Main Street, as I mentioned before, there was a phase 1 and a phase 2. Phase 2 was in the permitting process, but is currently on pause. Phase 1 moved forward and is now under construction. Phase 1 being 20 units, 2 of which are affordable, 2 at 65 area median income. And that's the rear of the motel, essentially a conversion project, so preserving the structure and modifying the motel units into residential. So 20 motel units into 20 residential units. That's again in the rear of the site there. These were the elevations that were shown, as modifying slightly the existing conditions. Heading over to 32 Main Street, under construction now, 9 total units, so just under the inclusionary requirement. This is the existing conditions, and they were repurposing this structure. So again, this is another one that was underutilized offices that are now being repurposed as residential, and they're just slightly modifying the exterior to improve for access and those types of things. Heading over to 210 North Street. So 210 North Street is proposed to be 18 total units with 2 affordable, 2 at 65% area median income. So 210 North Street, you may know better as the old 7-Eleven. The old 7-Eleven has been vacant for many years. And so the applicant, the landowner and developer, decided to repurpose the foundation and create residential. So the single proposed building on the site with enhanced landscaping, et cetera. But this is the elevation that is proposed for that location. Down Barnstable Road at 199 Barnstable Road, we have 45 total units, 9 affordable, 5 at 65% area median income, and this applicant has added 4 at 80% area median income. So we have 9 total, 45 total units. And this is the existing conditions, the old Sprinkle Home Improvements building, underutilized and may soon be vacant. Decided to move towards a more residential. One thing to note, this is actually multiple properties. So where you saw the Sprinkle building, there's actually another lot behind the Sprinkle building and to the 2 properties to the left. So it all comes together, but there is a existing property in the middle. So you'll see that's what that square is in the center there. So these are 4 structures. And the parking hidden within. And this is the elevations that were provided. Just down the street at 235 Barnstable Road. This is 13 units, one of which is affordable at 65% area median income. And yet again, this is another one that is preserving the structure and renovating within. Due to the updated zoning. So this is residential above. Those are offices and storage, and the applicant property owner was able to or is currently renovating the upstairs of that. Exactly. The elevations look just like the existing conditions because they're doing interior improvements to improve the residential conditions up there, removing the office, removing the storage uses. Over to 81 Bassett Lane. This, yet again, another one preserving the existing structures. This is just 4 units, I believe in 2 buildings. This is the existing conditions. It was in a site in poor shape, and they're essentially renovating these 2 structures to allow for essentially 4 units at this location. Heading over to 110 School Street, better known as the Dockside. Dockside has two projects here. Dockside 110 School Street is 28 total units, 5 affordable, 5 at 65% area median income. And that actually is, so you'll see the asterisk there. That 5 is for both 110 and 115. So the 28 plus 26 has the 5 at 65% area median income. This is the existing conditions as you would have saw it, though they have begun construction, as has many of these since we're in the construction phase now. And this is the site plan for both of them. And this is 110 elevation, right there. Similarly, 115 School Street, again, 26 units on the other side, part of that 5 inclusionary units. This was the existing conditions. This is the site plan provided for both projects or properties, and this is 115's elevation. Heading around the corner to 50 Yarmouth Road again in the east end of Hyannis. 15 total units, 5 affordable, 1 at 65%, 1 at 80%, and 3 at 100% area median income. This again is preserving the front structure. So yet again, another project where we're able to have a little bit of preservation. And then infilling in the rear with additional units, so 2 duplexes and 1 8-unit development or principal structure at that location. And again, those are the elevations provided. So again, so that is all of the projects that have been either in permitting, currently in permitting, or under construction over the past year and a half before the town of Barnstable. This will continue to evolve each month. We'll be providing the updated report. You can find that report by clicking on the housing button on the town of Barnstable's website, and then going to the multifamily residential development report link that you'll find on the right side of that of the housing page. And that concludes our snapshot of the town of Barnstable multifamily housing development report on December 3rd, 2024. Thank you.